I just want to point out I'm rolling while she doesn't realize it. There's bread over there. There's bread. No. I'm going to zoom into it. She doesn't want you to see the bread.
Trash.
There's bread over there.
It's like too much cumulative things.
And now I'm about to put just bread everywhere. Now there's bread everywhere. So you tried to get away from it and it didn't work. Poor Choice's kitchen. I'm not in my kitchen and I'm not green screened into another kitchen. Butter, chicken. Sounds like my coming up in North Carolina. That was pretty much the main two ingredients. But if you step outside the culinary county lines, you will find that butter chicken is one of India's best dishes, at least to my
tiny American brain.
And I am honored to be here today in the kitchen with Chef Liz of Bite Me Fine Foods. When we talked about this recipe, I was like, let's just make something up. So we're gonna do another American thing, which is just instead of like doing this traditional butter chicken style, we're gonna make this into like a bar food with chicken wings, but it's still gonna be fire. And so this is your recipe. And in fact, it's such a recipe that it's written down, which no one does that. So I'm really, oh, this is about to be fire. Your mom got you on that, right?
I like to write them.
It's legible too.
Yeah, what? You can't.
I have so many from growing up that are just like,
what?
What? It's just like a random sentence where you could tell they were just trying to like hold a thought, and then they never came back and finished it.
Well, also too, because like when you're cooking live, you don't really measure. I have an e-recipe book that I've been working on for 3 years. And so I'm trying to get better about like at least having a good estimate as to what it is.
So this is going to possibly be in the ebook, maybe?
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay. So this is actually a really easy recipe, and by that I mean easy for us because we don't have to do a lot of extra stuff because I have already marinated 2 pounds of chicken wings. The marinade ingredients down in the description. By the way, thank you so much for putting actual measurements because everyone else I have on the show just makes stuff up. They're like, oh, it's a fourth of a cup. I'm like, that's like 3/4 of a cup. Let's stop.
Yeah.
That's you over there.
It's
yeah.
A sprinkle.
But I use your marinade, so that'll be down in the description. And luckily for you at home, a lot of the stuff that's in this marinade will also be in the butter chicken. So then we can talk about it then. But you literally just mix everything up, put it on the chicken. The only thing I want to point out is, because I talk to everyone as if this is someone's first time ever stepping in the kitchen and they decide to skip the easy stuff like spaghetti and just jump right into some ambitious shit. So when you're marinating your chicken, just make sure this little part right here loves to marinate. You will find it that no matter how much you massage it,
crack?
Yes, right in that little crack right there, it doesn't matter what you do, you will find that there will be this little section that doesn't get marinated. So take your time, rub that little piece right there. This is not innuendo. I know what you're thinking of what I'm doing. I'm actually meaning get the marinade there.
Get it in the crack.
Yeah, get it in the crack. You might help me real quick, just putting that paper towel over here. So I'm gonna get this chicken.
Wait, oh, that one.
Yeah.
Oh, you already ripped
We were
it.
taking shots and all this stuff earlier, so we're already kind of off to a great start. It's not just yet. So we're just gonna get this chicken dried up. And this used to break my heart when I was a little kid because I feel like I'm wiping off all the marinade, but that's why we do this overnight. 3 hours minimum is what you were suggesting?
Yeah, at least 3 hours because anything less, I mean, it's just gonna be sitting on the top still.
Yeah, and with your knowledge of marinades, like, so there's lemon juice in this marinade, and usually with acidic things, like it can kind of like start to cook it. But what about this recipe do you know where like the acid from the lemon is not gonna cook it versus like if we did this in like lime juice and like soy sauce, it'd probably start to cook the surface of it. Like, do you know?
So usually it's like what you're marinating that usually, like fish, if you put a lot of lemon on fish or any type of crustacean, that's when it's gonna cook it the fastest. But if you're marinating meat like chicken, it won't necessarily cook it.
Okay.
It'll just penetrate it.
It penetrates. Should bring that up. I do love another shot.
My friend Jamie's here. Jamie has to make a guest appearance.
Come on in.
Come on.
And she came in on the bread side too. It's a Tuesday, and we started at 10 a.m. While we get our shots ready, I'm just gonna pat this dry. This is gonna help with getting our skin crispy. Now, we were talking earlier, grilling these would be the ideal situation, but I know some of you will not make this recipe if you don't have access to a grill. So we're gonna bake these today. Hooray, baked wings.
But if you were to grill them,
I would still probably pat these a little bit dry, then I'd hit them with like an all-purpose seasoning, like salt, pepper, garlic, with a little bit of parsley or something like that, and then throw them on the grill. Because we're baking these, I'm gonna put a little bit of baking powder, not soda, which is what I would do. A little bit of baking powder and some smoked paprika to kind of get a little bit of a grill smoky element. But if I was going on even just like a propane one or a charcoal, big green egg, Traeger, whatever it is, just throw it on there. A little bit of this is fine, especially if you're over charcoal, because if it drips down, just more flavors coming up with those flares. And that's what I would do. And also I would cook it for a lesser time. So today this is gonna go 425 for about 45 to 50 minutes. The longer you let it go, the crispier it's gonna get, the browner it's gonna get, and also chicken wings are so forgiving. So you can take these up to, if you're using a thermometer and they're done at 175, take them up to 190.
Okay.
That's when they just come off the bone like a banana peel. So these are penetrated with lots of flavor. That would be the grill method, but we're gonna do the baking method. How much Indian food have you made before?
So I usually make chicken tikka marsala stuff. Like that's usually what I make.
Oh, okay.
But I meal prep it a lot because
It's delicious.
yeah, and it's not that hard to make either.
Your horror stories of catering.
Jamie can chime in on this. Jamie is my friend, but we're both from Detroit. Let's start that out. So originally from Detroit, I live out here. She lives in Atlanta. She has a catering business too, but because I don't know that many people in California, especially not on the chef side professionally, she flies in to help me with all of my large events. When you get over like 25 people, you can't do it by yourself. We'll take this shot and then I'll really tell you what happened. Cheers.
Cheers. Taco Tuesday. Indian Tuesday.
Indian Taco Tuesday. So we get our first really big catering job for a charity event that's hosted at a rehab facility. This is like upper echelon rehab, like the riches of the rich. One thing during the tasting she said was absolutely no poppy seed. Because if you didn't know, which I knew what I didn't think of it, poppy seeds make you test positive on a drug screen.
Test, yeah. I learned that from an episode of Seinfeld.
One of the dishes is pasta salad. And if you're a Negro like us,
Little.
do you know the supreme seasoning? It's heavy poppy seeds in it.
Heavy. It's like one of the first ingredients.
Oh, okay, that heavy.
I think it is the first ingredient.
Yeah.
At midnight, we got 2 big ass, massive pans. This is like a 75-person event. We have 2 big, massive pans of noodles. We done mixed in tomatoes, beef sausage.
And she was like, hell no.
I'm like, what the fuck is this black shit in here? It's 12 o'clock midnight before the event. We were exhausted. We had been prepping for 2 days for this event. She was devastated, first of all.
Because was it just on the top or was it mixed in?
No.
Mixed.
Oh, I was gonna say you just scrape the top off.
Boom. No, you can't even chance it.
Look,
They're gonna all test positive on their drug screen. I'm never getting another job
They're
ever
gonna
again.
shut the entire facility down.
what?
I gotta go to the store right now. What store is open? So Ralph's was open till 1. I'm running through Ralph's like, I got 10 minutes to get everything. I'm rounding up pasta. I'm like, I can get some more stuff tomorrow, but let me just get everything that I can. I get back home, like, we can at least save some of it and we can eat it at the house. I get back home, Jamie's thrown everything away. Every pan, any poppy seeds touched, she's completely removed all poppy seeds. She even threw the seasoning on the side. She's like, we're never using this again.
So what time did you like officially finish? Like 2, 3 in the morning?
Yeah.
Probably 4?
Yeah, she went to bed at 3. I went to bed at 4. She got up at 6. I got up at like 7. It was the grazing table that was gonna be the most.
For those at home who don't know, what is a grazing table? 'Cause-
So a grazing table is like a big ass charcuterie board with like fruit, nuts, jams, dips, crackers, cheese.
do you get off on watching people eat your food and just watch them go through the motions of like, I be sitting there just like,
The 12.
Yeah, do you like it?
yeah.
The last
What's your
catering
thoughts?
gig we went, we had to leave, so we did the full setup and we left, and we were literally like, when we came back, we were like, so,
Yeah, how is it?
how was the food?
I mean,
Is there anything else you would suggest in this scenario that I could add to these chicken wings before I pop them in for 45 minutes at 425?
It depends. Do you like spice?
I do like spice.
So if we're gonna spice it up,
I do have some Indian chili. Ooh, you want to do something else? You can.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
spice up.
Yeah, we can add a
Every
little
now and
spice.
then I get the authentic, real things. Also, where I live, you can throw a stick and hit an Indian store. So
And then that's it. I would just pop it in like that.
cool. So we're gonna go in the oven, and then we're gonna transition to making some sauce because I love recipes where you just like one thing is done quick, one just chills for a while, and you just throw it together and you're done.
Well, we have to soak the rice.
Oh yes. All right. All right. She's taking over from now on. I'm gonna shut up.
No, I was just gonna say, because people don't soak the rice.
That's
so do you
true.
want to kind of show them how to do
Yeah,
that?
let's do all that. So walk me through this rice washing process and how you almost just took my head off because I don't wash my rice for my own meal prep. For me, audience of 1, really 0.
For health purposes. You should always wash your rice. First of all, it's been in that bag for God knows how long. But also too, it makes it, it breaks down the starch and it makes your rice taste better. And because we're making turmeric rice today, we want the rice to absorb that turmeric. So we want to get some of that starch off. So you just need a strainer of some sort. Doesn't have to be an expensive one. I think this one is actually from the dollar store. So
oh, nice.
if your local Dollar Tree
It actually
works
looks
out,
solid.
you want to have like smaller grates in it. And then you're just gonna put some cold water over this and let it soak, and then you're gonna drain it. You're gonna do that twice for like probably about 8 minutes. But when the water runs clear, you know that the starch is gone. And because we're using basmati rice, that usually has some of the most starch on it. Did you know that?
Really? I did not, because I guess the longer the grain, the more starch it has, technically. Is there a possibility of overhydrating your rice in the washing process? I've heard that been spoken about before, but I want to ask a professional.
Yeah, like if you're doing a fried rice, I don't usually recommend you're washing your rice, because like, I mean, there's no real point. You're just gonna fry it anyways. But yes, you can overhydrate your rice and then it'll be too like mushy. So that's why I said 7 to 8 minutes, it tops. But usually what I'll do is I'll put my rice in here, I'll kind of like move my fingers around to make sure the water gets in there and starts breaking up the starch. And then I'll just drain it, and then I'll do it again really quick, and then I'll leave that one in for the 7 to 8 minutes. So like the first one, just kind of like washing it off, rinsing it off, and the second one like letting it soak a little bit to get the.
I like this thoroughness.
So here we go. We got a 1/4 stick of butter,
Quarter stick of butter.
unsalted. So what we're gonna do is, because we're making turmeric infused rice, we're going to melt our butter down. And we're going to first put our rice in, saute our rice into the bowl. So we're gonna put that on medium and let that melt a little bit. I have some turmeric here.
Now, I will share this while you're gathering things. I only had Indian food for the first time back in 2019. My ex up in the Bay, you know, that's a huge Indian influence area. So she was just like, we're gonna get you, yes, it was really good. But she kept warning me. She was just like, first time you have it, because you're coming from never have had it before, like you need to be near a bathroom and prepare for it. But then she also set me up. She set me up for failure too, because she was like, "We're gonna eat Indian food and then go out bar hopping." And I was like, "Didn't you just tell me I need to be near a bathroom? The last bathroom I want to use is one at a bar."
Did you actually use the bathroom?
No, I didn't have to. I was so determined to not use the bathroom that I think I just mentally like held it in. But the next day at the Oakland airport, I'm glad I got there early.
Okay, so we're just gonna put our ice in the butter.
All right. And this is over like what, like a medium heat?
Yeah, medium heat. We're just gonna stir it, get that butter up in there. We're just going to sprinkle some turmeric powder in there. We're gonna sprinkle some cumin powder in there. We're gonna mix that up too. I'm gonna start with a cup.
And we're using chicken bone broth. Is there an advantage to chicken bone broth just over like chicken stock or regular chicken broth?
Yeah, it has a lot more flavor. And it gives you a little bit of like a thicker consistency.
Ah, okay.
Than just regular broth. So rice is like the one starch that you can put in before it starts boiling. So you just want enough water. So probably about 3 cups, enough water to cover. Actually, we could probably just use this whole thing. This is the little. We're gonna let that boil, so we'll turn it up to high. Oh, I think that's our friend, Marvin.
Marvin! Y'all know Marvin. He was on the show like a few months ago. We did some crab cakes.
Garlic powder and onion powder.
Garlic powder and onion powder.
Just a little bit, just a little bit. We don't need a lot.
That was maybe like...
A sprinkle.
Yeah, a sprinkle.
It's probably like a 4th.
What up, Marvin? Someone out there hates when I just like deviate from my like stupid hands on camera thing, but I love it. I love it.
So good.
I love the chaos.
Hi.
Hey,
How are you?
how are you? My guy? How you feeling, baby? What are we making today?
We are making some turmeric rice, some buttered chicken.
Excuse me.
Butter chicken wings.
I'm gonna go ahead and sit down.
Butter chicken wings to love.
Cheers, folks.
All right, water's boiling, she's turning it down. This is honestly how Poor Choices happens on Saturdays. You just don't actually get to see all this stuff. You just see my hands.
This is so fun.
Yeah.
Set timer for 20 minutes.
I think the only thing I have to make now is just the
Sauce.
sauce.
All right, we're gonna try to heat this up to medium real quick.
I'm sorry I'm making you look very short. But we gotta see the inside.
Thanks.
All right, take it away.
So we are gonna just like
Real fast.
swivel our butter around in this pot a little bit. We don't need too much butter. We're actually gonna take this out in a second. But this is a fourth a stick of butter, and our pan is not really hot yet because I just turned it on. Normally this would like cook a lot faster. So at this point I'm lit, so I don't know what I measured, but it's all in the recipe over here. I wrote it down. So this is just oil, regular olive oil. We're gonna pour that in too so our butter doesn't brown too much. About half of our butter stick has melted now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take it out. These are our cashews. So this is this is less than a half a cup because I don't really like cashews. We're just doing this for video purposes. So the nuts just like awakens the flavor a little bit. A lot of like Indian based seasonings or sauces have a nut base to them. That's why a lot of people that have allergies to nuts don't eat Indian food. But also too, like the cashews and the fenugreek add like a different little. We're just gonna let those get a little fragrant there while that's cooking. So I've already pre-measured out like our turmeric, coronator seed.
What'd you call it?
Yep. Coriander. Why did you guys make me take 4 shots? I'm fucked up. We're just gonna toss our seasonings in here. I went ahead and turned our heat up a little bit.
And then you were saying something earlier about, because you're putting onions in. Tell us about onions and storing them.
Onions absorb whatever is in their surrounding environment. So it is never ever a good idea to store them in your refrigerator unless you've cut them already. Because once you've cut an onion, you have to use it within the next 24 hours. If you're not gonna use it, throw it away. It's useless. But they absorb all of what is in the environment. So it's imperative for them to not develop like different type of parasites, to store them in dark, dry environments. So I store mine in a drawer. Once I cut them open, if I'm not planning to use them in like the next 24 hours, I just throw them away. But if I am, then I'll wrap them in saran wrap or put them in a glass jar and just put them covered in the refrigerator. But just know, like if you have meat or seafood or really rotten fruit, which is usually what happens when you put fruit in the refrigerator, that absorbs into your onion. And so once you go to cook that onion, it has all of that in there. Unless you're trying to literally clean out some sort of smell, funky ass smell, then you shouldn't put your onion in there. And when you're storing your onions and your potatoes, because I normally store them in the same drawer, same thing with potatoes, don't put those in the refrigerator either. But put an apple in the drawer, in a dark drawer, and it helps them stay preserved. So when the apple becomes wilted, that means that you should probably throw whatever is in the drawer away. Same with your garlic. So it's garlic, potatoes, and onions. Okay, so I added our ginger paste. I turned our heat down to medium-low just because my stove gets pretty hot. I'm throwing in 3 cloves. I'm gonna put the rest of our butter in here. We're gonna go ahead and put our tomato.
I want it fire roasted, just again to bring more grill elements if we don't have the grill.
2 cups. 2 bay leaves in there.
You're gonna know.
A little salt. See, that wasn't measured. There you go. And a little pepper.
Fresh crack too.
So we're just gonna let that simmer on low. So once you cook your rice, you wanna leave your top on the pot, but like a little askew, because you still want like the steam to really get in there. And then you wanna break it up with your classic fork, of course. So because I didn't salt much, I'm gonna go ahead and just salt the rice for us. And I'm not gonna use the same fork to fork it through, don't worry.
I'm gonna Photoshop the same fork in her hand.
Well, the next fork probably, let me make sure it look different. Let me give you the non-arranged version.
Doesn't matter, I'm advanced.
Okay, so I mix that and I'm just gonna sprinkle just a little bit more. I'll make sure we get that through there.
So we've been simmering this for about how long? Are we looking for a certain type of visual cue or just kind of like a time-based thing?
So this is like more of a time-based, but what we will do is we're gonna add some things that make it a little bit more visual. I'm just gonna turn it up so we can cook it a little longer. and I'm just adding.
Some of the same seasonings we've already added in before. We're just
Exactly.
kind of looking for
We're
ways
just
to
being
accentuate it.
extra at this
Yeah.
point. So we're just transferring this to our ninja. You're actually gonna have to help me.
I got you. Well, what would you like for me to do? Just hold one side, or got you. Spoon it in.
Yeah, I don't want you to hold it because you might burn yourself. Get this stuff in the middle.
You gave me this tiny little
I'm
spatula.
sorry, I should have gave you a big one.
This is for ants. This is a spatula for ants. Look.
So now we're using our butter.
Is it yee or ghee?
Fucked up.
No, you're good. You got this. Don't come on this show if you're not ready to be like this.
This is bone broth,
Bone broth.
and this is sugar. We can use the whole thing, or do you?
Okay, add it in.
Okay. So that's 1/3 cup of sugar, which it'll be in the non-drunk details of this movie.
Yes.
Okay. We are going to turn this on puree.
In case you couldn't hear it. Yeah, I could wait till this is turned off to talk, but I don't want to.
This is looking really good.
It's nice and smooth. Now I don't want to talk anymore. Because we're putting this on wings, I do want it to have like a smooth, that's all good. I want to have a nice smooth consistency towards it.
What do you want, some more spice?
A little bit more spice, maybe just some salt, and I think we're solid.
Okay.
Again, I'm a spicy lover, like just completely wreck my digestive system tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it.
You
that's
said
great.
you liked a little honey? We can do a little honey.
You can do some honey in there, yeah. And like a drizzle of honey on top of the wings at the very end is gonna be fire. So this is the part, I'm gonna wait till she turns it on to start talking. So this is the part.
Are you going to drizzle or are you going to like gravy our wings? What's your plan here?
I was thinking originally tossing, but I think visually, now it's getting me. Visually, would it be better with a drizzle?
Okay, so
Like-
if we're just
Can I
drizzling.
throw a thing in there? How about tossing it in there and then putting it back into the oven to broil and you'll get your color?
Okay, broil.
There we go. So I don't know if you know this, Marvin. Like I literally was like, let's just do something new for the first time ever. So this is all being like made up on the spot. We took like different elements and just combined it. So
I'm gonna turn it on now.
stop talking.
I was talking loud before I turned it on. Okay, so what did we decide?
We're gonna do Marvin's idea. We're gonna coat these and then just under the broiler for like, just long enough where it's a set. Kind of get a little bit of char on it. And then we'll take it out and we'll throw some cilantro on it. And our wings were done. I'll show some footage now. Our wings were done. Again, they went 55 minutes. If I were to tempt them, they probably would have been closer to 190, but like you can tell by the char on the outside of them that they are
You're gonna
good to
put
go.
them in here. We can just use this because it has it already in there. Okay, so I
And
won't put a
then-
lot in there.
Yeah.
That smells so good. It might be my new fave.
So I think we can fit a good 5 in here. We
Oh,
could
you want
also-
to put this whole thing in there?
We could, yeah. So we're gonna let this go under the broiler until it's just nice and charred, or like the sauce is set. No real time because every broiler is different, and what your setting is as far as like your rack adjustment, your rack height is different. So when we get back, it'll just be finished product time.
Or do you want to dress her? Do you want to?
I want to see how you play. She does really beautiful plating, so I'm curious with you in your most fucked up state with all the pressure in the world on you. I want to see you plate
Dang.
this.
Yes.
No pressure, just all the pressure.
No pressure in the
Yeah,
world.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We're talking about like a tight and submersible amount of pressure. That's it.
We're gonna do our nan then because if I stop moving, the drunkenness might kick all the way in. When you do this, you just want a tiny bit.
It's a tiny bit of ghee?
Yeah, because people put in too much and then it doesn't get like, good. It gets like soggy.
And this is unsalted, by the way. Just want to point that out to people at
Okay,
home.
I'm gonna put this in the oven. We still have it on 375, which is perfect. Ooh, those look good.
That looks beautiful. Let me chop up some cilantro real fast.
What you think?
Looks good to me.
Want some
yeah.
more?
No, that's perfect.
Okay.
That's great. All right, we are done. These have been under the broiler pretty much long enough just for the sauce to set. There was no real time. Was the broiler on high or low? We're just on?
I only have one setting.
Okay.
On mine.
Gotcha.
So
We're just setting the sauce back on. You'll notice the difference between when you toss it in the sauce initially and when you've been under broiler. But like, don't go away far. Like, it might only take like 4 minutes or something like that. So this is not a time to go take a shit. And I'd say, had we not been drinking, this would take like all of an hour, hour 15, because the chicken takes like 45 to 55 minutes.
Well, if you want to go all in, it's gonna take you overnight.
That's true. That's true, but the actual important part. See how I still made myself sound right even though I was wrong?
Such a man.
I know.
This would be prettier if I was really trying.
It still looks great to me.
I'm kind of drunk.
Liquid courage. We didn't need it, but you might. You start forgetting how afraid you are of the stove. You say, fuck that air fryer. We're gonna use real fire today. Yes, chicken wings. What would be a vegetable to go with this though?
Like some spinach, or even just like chopped cucumber with some tomato. Just like, and maybe even some tabbouleh if you have it.
Oh yeah.
So now we're just gonna, and sometimes because we have, we blended our sauce.
Oh, the cashew kind of.
Sometimes like maybe an onion or something didn't get blended up, but we just.
Does anybody not want cilantro on theirs?
Yeah, we need the cilantro.
Okay, good. Because I know some people don't want their Indian food to taste like soap, but it's really good with cilantro on it. Just finely chopped up fresh. Smells amazing and awesome. And we did a fantastic job for some drunk ass people. And we still got naan.
Oh.
We
This shit
still
about
got
to be
naan.
burnt up.
Looks awesome.
We just brushed a little extra butter on top. So we're just gonna see like some nice little,
Beautiful.
everybody get a couple.
This looks mighty fine, Chef Liz, I gotta say. And
Thank
you
you.
survived the episode that lots of people don't.
Man, after this, I'm going to sit down. I don't even know how you play. Voila. Hey, that shit looks good.
Where can the people find you?
So you can find me, so I'm based in LA, but I travel everywhere. But I have a website, it's Bite Me Brands Co. And then I also have an Instagram, it's bite_me_fine foods.
Get ready to have your mouth watering. Look at all the pretty colors and setups and everything. I've definitely enjoyed. There's some things I just want you to make. I'm gonna pretend I'm doing an episode just so to see you can make it and then I can eat it and be like, oh my God, my card's corrupted. Whoops. But no, I appreciate you setting all this up. Beautiful kitchen, beautiful food, beautiful everything. And I don't know what else to say other than just like, I hope you sober up in the 5 minutes that you need to do this.
No, I hope so too, but also thank you for taking me outside of my comfort zone, you know?
Oh, of course, you did a phenomenal job. So I'm gonna get some footage of this and then we're gonna eat. So until then, peace.
Bye.
Yup.
Yeah.
The wings are good. Why did we pull the wine out?
How is it? Oh, we can still drink it.
Crack that up.
It's phenomenal. I don't like to give Morgan credit, but I gotta give her credit. God damn it. I hate it.
So good.
And as far as today's poor choices, so we've been having tequila, but there is wines that you can have. This is a Cabernet Sauvignon. You can have that, or you can also have a Riesling, which is actually what I bought, but I forgot to bring it here. So now we're going to bust this open.
Or tequila.
Tons and tons of tequila that we've been having today. So that is an episode of Poor Choices, my friends.